Hello everyone and welcome now to game number 2. Wait, where'd my mouse go? There it is. Game number 2 in a series between Czech and Hawk. Gonna go ahead and break things down here as we see Czech spawning as the red night elf on the top right hand side of the map of Last Refuge. Meanwhile, Hawk has spawned as the light blue human on the bottom left. Someone asked me to why not use allied color mode, and allied color mode does not work in this particular version. Not quite sure why it doesn't work, but it does not work, so I am going to be sticking with red and light blue. Gonna go ahead and speed things up right now just to see what type of heroes we will be looking at. Archmage or Mountain King may be the primary hero for the human. And it is going to be the Archmage because of the fact of that early Huntress harassment that we saw in game number 1. Now, Czech, however, opening up with a Warden instead of a Demon Hunter. That means that there is not going to be that much mana burn early on in this game. And with a lack of mana burn, I am curious as to how the Warden plans to stop any sort of expansion. Now, the expansion is rather far off over here for the human player, and we'll see if enough peasants are going to be trained up. Archmage doing a great job, going to clean up this creep camp here as he spots a wisp. You do not want this wisp to detonate, well, exactly in that location there, as it detonates, gets mana off of the Archmage, and also deals damage to that water elemental, getting a little bit of experience. Warden now coming back across over here, hoping to perhaps do a little bit of damage once more and steal a little bit of this experience. Archmage gonna have to work very, very hard to not allow that Warden to get a Shadow Strike onto this Nightcrawler that is so low on life. Down to 65 hit points. I believe a Shadow Strike gonna be incoming. Yes, there it goes. And Warden also picking up those Slippers of Agility. Cooldown now on that Shadow Strike, as the Archmage is going to finish off this Tide Runner and will finish off this Huntsman. I believe the Warden is not going to be able to get that final kill there, as the Archmage is now sitting at level 2. Warden now heading back over here to the top right. Archmage sitting at level 2, has Gloves of Haste, and that is it. May be able to drop another Water Elemental momentarily, as we now see archers joining in on the fight. We are teching the Tree of Ages as the Archmage now makes his way down over here to the Ogre Magi, as the Warden is now going to be coming in to try and focus down a bit of damage. Archmage coming into position here. Is he going to be able to get the Footman to stop attacking or stop that one particular Warden? No, we do not see that. Meanwhile, the Archmage is now just simply running for the hills as the Footmen are trying to get in on that target. We may see a surround here. No, the Warden still trying to come across, still trying to do a bit of that chasing, as the Archmage is still coming back across off over here. Meanwhile, in the center, you see some of those units have been taken down. The Warden has not gained any experience yet. Peasant number 1 taken down. Warden going to get Peasant number 2 there, as the Ogre Magi could get taken down as well. Archmage not getting in some shots there. Warden can get another Shadow Strike off, and that is going to be another Shadow Strike once again. Meanwhile, Scroll of Town Portal has been used, and is the Archmage going to get that Archer? Yes, it will. Picking up the Claws of Attack +6, and now clearing out this location here. Now we should be looking at perhaps a scout tower. There are still militia being pulled over into this fight here, as the Archmage needs to work extra hard to try and stay alive. He is now down to about 120 hit points, and that Warden should be coming back over in just a moment. Boots of Speed now purchased here, as the Ancient of War getting into position to try and tank this Goblin Merchant Shop. Back across over here, there is a Sentry Ward coming in, so that is going to be very, very good news for Hawk to keep track of that one particular pathway. Also speed building this Arcane Vault for that Scroll of Regeneration and perhaps a Clarity Potion. All right, waiting for that Arcane Vault. There you go. There's the healed Clarity Potion finally being used now, as we could be seeing a Sentry Ward placed down here in just a moment. No clearing out the mercenary camp, which is a bit of a shocker for me, since human players normally like to clear out that location, as it does give them the ability to use that extra gold early on for a little bit of a benefit right there. All right, Archer quickly getting taken down there, getting to level 3 on the Archmage. A lucky break break by Hawk. Meanwhile, the Warden at level 3, though, hoping to get in front of this Archmage and perhaps lay down a Shadow Strike. Warden is in position. Arcane Tower is not yet done. Fan of Knives comes across, hitting multiple units there. No blink. We are not going to be seeing blink, as that was level 2 Fan of Knives. Peasant's going to get taken down. There goes another 2 peasants there, as the Warden doing a great job shutting down this expansion. This time with the Warden as opposed to Huntresses. Alright, another Fan of Knives was used right there, as we also saw, I believe, a Clarity Potion or a Potion of Mana used for a split second, as those Fan of Knives are coming around very, very quickly. Alright, Town Hall still getting repaired up, more militia being called over, more peasants need to be added, Lumber Mill is being added as well. Archmage is going to be hurting. Meanwhile, the Warden halfway to level 4, after some very, very strong harassment, as we now see a Tree of Life also being established by Czech. Standing army is rather small for Czech, only sitting at 22 over 40 compared to his opponent's 35 over 54. There is very, very high emphasis on tech right now, as the Warden is still doing a lot of good work here, trying to clear out these creep camps and perhaps get to level 4. Meanwhile, back across over here, it looks as though the Ancient of Wonders will be quickly taken out. We are already at Tree of Ages and getting Nature's Blessing. Warden going to be coming across, perhaps getting a Shadow Strike onto that Archmage. Level 1 Shadow Strike, as the Water Elementals have been dropped down. Alright, little bit of damage being added there. Archmage should be able to, well, at least get some distance, even though that Warden does have boots of speed, as we now see the Archmage in a little bit of trouble here, going to be able to focus down and finish off this one particular Wisp. Meanwhile, back off to the north, it looked like there was, not quite sure what was there, but yeah, it looked like a Wisp or some other unit was in position there, as the Archmage now heads back home to try and get healed up. We do see one Goblin Zeppelin ready to go. Goblin Zeppelin was hired up. Archmage needs to heal, has another Scroll of Regeneration, but this is not very, very effective use of Scroll of Regeneration, as it is only healing about 200 hit points from that Archmage, while not healing that much from the other remaining units. Warden, already sitting at level 4, may in fact be able to get to level 5, as the Tree of Life now making its way here to finish off this 5-3-3 creep camp. Runed Bracers have been picked up by the Warden, so if a Mountain King is in fact trained, that Warden will have a little bit more magic resistance than normal. Meanwhile, this Forest Troll Berserker doing some very heavy chasing there, as the Forest Troll Trapper should be backing off here in just a moment. Meanwhile, Tree of Life going to start entangling this gold mine as it is engaging this creep camp as well. Alright, a little bit of attacks right there coming back around, as we are looking at the remaining piercing damage finishing off the Forest Troll Trappers here. Warden still wandering around, about halfway to level 5 right now. Abolish magic onto that Water Elemental, quickly taken out, as we see a Blacksmith now being added. Meanwhile, Archmage was down across over here, was not picked up in time for that Goblin Zeppelin, and that is going to be an additional 30 damage every tick onto that Archmage, as the Archmage now wandering around here hoping to finish off some more units. Alright, actually, he may get taken down. Is the Shadow Strike going to finish him off? Oh my goodness, he could actually get taken out by the Tree of Life. And wow, what a huge situation there. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Is the Dryad going to be able to come away? And it is going to end up picked up, as the Goblin Zeppelin needs to get away. This is a potentially bad situation. There is a Wisp right there, allowing sight once more, and the Dryads are going to perhaps still wander around here. Alright, still flying overhead. Meanwhile, you can see that the Warden is hoping to finish off this one Goblin Zeppelin. As you see, that Goblin Zeppelin could be in a bit of trouble. Warden is right underneath, does not have an easy way of attacking this target at all, but it is going to give sight down across over here. Goblin Zeppelin going over the tree line, and now back inside here. Footmen are all in position. Fan of Knives being brought over, as what is happening here, Scroll of Regeneration, it is quickly going to be used. Clarity Potion as well, and then just jumping back inside here to try and stay alive. Alright, Scout Tower has been taken down. Level 5 now on the Warden. Archmage is still regenerating hit points. And I'm sure he would like that Ring of Regeneration that he got in the previous game right now on this very, very low hit point Archmage. Back across over here, Warden sitting at 5. Footman with Defend. Archmage dealing with a level 3 or level 5 hero. 2-level difference between these two heroes right now. And economically speaking, Czech is in the lead. You can see that, or excuse me, so far in this game, Czech is in the lead. You can see that there is also an expansion in play as well. So Czech currently has equal footing in terms of the economy and a significant lead in terms of hero level. Archmage now trying to run all the way back here. Meanwhile, Warden now out of mana. 46 over 60 supply compared to 38 over 54. Even in terms of economics, larger in terms of army size, and a 2-level lead based solely on the heroes. That is going to become a very big problem here as we now see the Druids of the Claw getting in some rejuvenations onto the Wardens. Will the Goblin Zeppelin be able to make any strong plays? That is going to be the big question. Meanwhile, we are looking at a Mountain King joining in on the fight right now, and also a workshop being trained up. We could be looking at perhaps some siege engines here in just a moment as the Water Elemental dropped down into play in order to absorb a bit of damage. Mountain King now being forced to pull back here. All right, Warden has near maximum mana and also has an anti-magic potion. That is going to turn out to be very, very dangerous indeed as the workshops are nearly done. Back down across over here. Town Hall taking a lot of damage. Anti-magic potion, Fan of Knives coming across already, and you can see the damage just starting to add up more and more. Are we going to see another Fan of Knives? No, we are not, as the Arcane Tower removes some key mana from this Druid of the Claw. All right, Shadow Strike, Fan of Knives dealing terrible damage there. The Fan of Knives almost finishing off many of these peasants as the Warden is just in position here, perhaps going to use a potion of mana in just a moment. Takes a Stormbolt, but hardly took any damage, as you can imagine, with those Rune Bracers. All right, we are still looking at a big fight here. There goes the Arcane Vault. Fan of Knives coming across again as that Warden now running out of mana for the second time. Warden going after some of the remaining units. Warden sitting at level 5, trying to get away. However, the peasants were able to block. And will the Warden be able to escape? No, it will not, as the Mountain King gets to level 2. A big, big steal right there as the Mountain King now tries to chase after those units. Unable to do so. If another 2 Druids of the Claw were taken down, all of a sudden, Hawk would then be in the lead, catching up in terms of experience and also in terms of overall army supply. 45 over 54 compared to 60 over 80. Siege engines now being added as there are plenty of ancients here to try and combat those units. All right, Warden quickly resurrected back at that tavern as the Bears are now sitting at 1-1 upgrades, ready to put on a bit more pressure. Archmage needs to find a way to take down this Ogre Magi creep camp. Siege engines are off over here. Are they going to make their way off to the north? I do believe so, as we now see the Staff of Teleportation coming in. Warden is ready to go into this fight once more. Mountain King gets a Stormbolt off. Paladin is out onto the field. Holy Light onto that Mountain King already, as the Mountain King now jumps back into that Goblin Zeppelin. Now this Town Hall is under duress, taking a lot of damage from these units. Another big Fan of Knives right there. Warden still has plenty of mana so far, as the Mountain King hoping to finish off some of these units. All right, it looks as though the Druid of the Claw may get taken down. Massive repairs. Level 6 now on the Warden. Level 6 Warden with Avatar of Vengeance, just absolutely destroying this base so far. All right, there goes the Town Hall. Meanwhile, over here on the top left, the siege engines are going after the Moonwells, as we now see the Tree of Life uprooting, not quite sure why. Back down across over here, Avatar of Vengeance taking a lot of damage. The Bears are still trying to fight back. The Spirit of Vengeance is doing a great job shutting down all of these towers, as the siege engines really going to town on this Tree of Life here. All right, a lot of Ancients of War currently just doing massive repairs. 2 siege engines are all that is left, as we are now at 1 base to 1 base. All right, the Spirit of Vengeance is finishing off the remaining towers, and the Warden may get to level 7 here, as we now see the Warden chasing after these units. All right, is the Warden gonna have Blink? Is she gonna be able to catch up to these siege engines? There goes another. Warden could continue to chase, but decides against it. Meanwhile, Archmage sitting at level 4 and the Mountain King at 2, Paladin at 1, looking to level up a bit more. Now, if this Paladin can get to level 3, that 400 hit point heal will become a very, very big play. Mountain King only sitting at level 2 here. Avatar of Vengeance may get taken down, and yes, it does, giving a large amount of experience. Meanwhile, Stormbolt going down onto the Warden as the Water Elemental does need to be picked up. Alright, Paladin, where is he? Nowhere to be found so far, as the Goblin Zeppelin is not holding it. Archmage, a fan of knives coming across. Mountain King, is it going to survive? No, it is not. Staff of Sanctuary was not used as the Shadow Strike now goes down onto the Archmage. Archmage is in serious trouble. Paladin, back over here, does come to full life. Holy Light going to be coming online as that Archmage is going to be, well, fairly well protected for now. All right, so far we still are engaging back and forth. Entangled Goldmine nearly done. And Czech is just looking at a very, very winnable game right now as the Warden now looks to back off. Siege Engines going back off to the north. 51 over 54 supply. That is the absolute worst. Meanwhile, over here on the top right, Siege Engines trying to take down the Tree of Life. Massive repair is still coming into play as the Paladin trying to stay alive with Staff of Sanctuary, but taking a lot of damage as well. All right, I believe the guard towers may actually have been attacking that Paladin as well to try and deny a bit of experience. Archmage still sitting at level 4, not going to be able to easily finish off these units as the Warden is sitting at level 7. No, our Arcane Tower just a bit too far. Shadow Strike now coming back online onto that Archmage again as that Archmage is taking 45 damage every couple of seconds. The Archmage may end up falling if it is not careful. Archmage needs... Oh, wow, Potion of Invulnerability just to make sure. And that was incredibly, incredibly close. Perhaps, yeah, Staff of Sanctuary should have been used a little bit earlier from that Mountain King in order to save that Potion of Invulnerability. Siege Engines going to town now. Meanwhile, back across over here, Tree of Life was destroyed. New Tree of Life is being built up as the Siege Engine may try to come in and attack here again. All right, let's take a look at this. Some more attacks. There goes another Siege Engine once more, as we should be looking at a level 8 Warden eventually. Or excuse me, yeah, level 8 Warden eventually, as all of these Siege Engines are just constantly getting attacked and destroyed. All right, do we see Fairy Fire come into play? I'm not 100% sure there. Not quite sure. Yep, Warden now a little bit shy, 228 experience shy from level 8. As the Warden going to be able to drop another Spirit or Avatar of Vengeance and getting some Spirit of Vengeances as well. All right, this Town Hall is incredibly important, and I do not think it is going to fall just at the hands of one Spirit of Vengeance. Meanwhile, back over here to the top left, the Tree of Life still getting under construction again. Druid of the Claw sitting at 2-1 upgrade. Siege Engine trying to head around the backside to get into position. And the Wisp, could have actually just blocked the blocked the pathing on the Tree of Life there. Instead, Hawk still feeding more and more experience to Czech. Czech now just 76 experience away from level 8. And we could start seeing high-level Blink play as well. Solo Warden, so difficult to take care of, as the Mountain King now sitting at 3 and the Paladin currently sitting at 2. Item drop, Belt of Giant Strength. That would actually probably be better on the Paladin, who needs more hit points to keep himself healed. Meanwhile, Archmage just sticking around back across over here. We'll see where he's going to be traveling to next. Avatar of Vengeance making its rounds. Here we go. In comes the attack. Shadow Strike strictly on that Archmage. Holy Light being brought online as well, as the Warden now needs to pull away. Mountain King not getting the Stormbolt off there, as there are still plenty of heals still going down on the remaining units. Knights, 0-0 upgrades against 2-1 upgraded Bears. Those Bears significantly better as they deal more damage and also can survive longer, especially with the use of Roar. Coming back across, you can see the Warden now trying to push down to 35 mana. One Peasant will get that Warden to level 8, and it is at level 8 already. Peasants still getting taken down. However, it looks as though some Bears could get taken out as well. Mountain King could be landing in some Storm Bolts. Avatar of Vengeance still casting some Spirit of Vengeances as well, as the units are now looking to back off. Mountain King should have really Storm Bolted a unit or two to try and trap them within tower range, as the Avatar of Vengeance is now looking to back off here. Bear needs to go, well, should be in Druid form right now, as the hit points do go much further. Meanwhile, we're seeing that 55 over 60 supply, as Hawk is still fighting to stick around in this game. Archmage dropping another water elemental, but this just looks like the Warden is going to be able to constantly put pressure on this base here, as the Warden now out of mana. Druid of the Claw is back into play. We're going to see another rejuvenation. There it goes. Perhaps some of the lower hit point Druid of the Claw should be Staff of Preservation back home. Bears are now looking to engage. This one particular Druid of the Claw is going to end up falling unless it gets Stabbed of Preservation back out. And there it goes. Stormbolt onto the Warden, so no Staff of Preservation possible. Bear is still looking to engage here, as another Druid of the Claw may get taken out. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation on either of these two fleeing bears? I'm not sure yet. Druid of the Claw still has Fairy Fire ready to go. Archmage still causing a lot of problems, as the units are looking to engage once again. Stormbolt onto the Druid of the Claw. That is actually a very, very long distance Stormbolt, causing a lot of problems. Is Staff of Preservation beautifully done right there, sending this Druid of the Claw all the way back home, as the Warden now needs to regroup and collect her thoughts. No rejuvenation. Not quite sure why we don't see a rejuvenation there. That's a Druid of the Claw that definitely needs a rejuvenation, as we also see some Druids of the Talon off over there. Arcane Vault being sped built. We need to see 5 more peasants back on this gold mine. And I gotta say that Czech has been playing just a better game, dealing with the expansions. Dealing with his opponent's expansion while maintaining his own without risking too much. Alright, Paladin going to be going after the Ogre Lord. Shockwave should be coming in. No Shockwave. Helm of Valor now picked up by the Paladin, as the Paladin is going to be that much stronger again. Units now in full retreat. There was a Stormbolt again onto that Warden. Warden still sitting at level 8 with... does she still have the rune bracers? That is the key question. Yes, she does, as the Paladin now wants to come in and perhaps get some more Stormbolts onto some more units. Alright, Avatar of Vengeance taking a large amount of damage. Warden now at level, or it looked like it just leveled, as we see a Holy Light now come into play. Griffin Rider teleported all the way back home. Water Elementals could perhaps stay behind and go after all of these units. Stormbolt could be coming in. No Stormbolt at all. Warden still taking or dodging it with the anti-magic potion, and now finishing off one mortar team as well. All right, take a look at the Knights. The Knights need to back away. This is not looking good. Shadow Strike onto the Paladin. Paladin, however, quickly throws up a Divine Shield. 15 seconds of invulnerability, as the units are still wandering about. All right, Avatar of Vengeance, or Spirit of Vengeance, is still running along inside here, causing problems. Griffins are up in the air. Supply count sitting at 59 over 72 compared to 64 over 80. Knight and Griffin back at home, regenerating hit points, but don't have any serious upgrades. Meanwhile, the Bears are currently, I believe, sitting at 2-1 upgrades, and with Roar dealing plus 11 bonus damage as well, bringing that maximum from 31 to 42. Alright, Avatar or Spirit of Vengeance is still causing problems, as they are invulnerable to any sort of damage. Are they going to be able to fight back here? There you have it. Water Elemental going to be dropped. Ogre Magi was already taken out, but it looks as though the Archmage wants that last bit of experience to get to level 5. Don't know if that's going to happen, though, as the Warden is already ready to push on forward into the southern location while establishing an expansion or moving the Tree of Eternity to that 3 o'clock location. Spirit of Vengeance is now going after all of these peasants. Peasants now trying to run. Arcane Tower under repair, as the Arcane Tower is finishing off Bear 1 and Bear 2. Meanwhile, Archmage and Griffins with Knights have shown up to the party. This is going to be a very big deal, as the Hippogriff trying to engage against all of these units there. All right, Fan of Knives, Griffin Rider trying to stay alive. Dryads now trying to put into pressure as well, as we are still looking at perhaps another Hippogriff getting taken out there. Dryad still looking to continue their aerial domination or ground domination against the aerial forces of Hawk, as we're now still looking at this expansion off over here pretty much being mined in peace. Avatar of Vengeance ready to go, casting more Spirit of Vengeances again. Those Spirit of Vengeances should be making their way out over here to the bottom left-hand side of the map. There is no other place to set up an expansion unless you want to try and expand towards your opponent. Meanwhile, back down across over here, we see it is 2 bases currently against the 0 right now, as things are not looking good for Hawk. Hawk played a great game number 1. Was not able to recover here in game number 2. Paladin now getting cleaned up here, as we do see Brilliance Aura being added. The perfect item for that Paladin, and that Mountain King needs a little bit of extra mana and is now going to be getting it. Alright, Avatar of Vengeance now coming across the rest of the army. Inadvertently now needs to retreat as quickly as possible, as the Avatar is a very, very expensive time-based unit, and if you have it, you do not really want it to go to waste. Bears coming back across the center here. You can see Dryads, Bears, Hippogriffs all ready to go. Meanwhile, in the center portion of the map, Forest Troll, High Priest, Forest Troll could get cleared out just for some gold and some items. The Warden does have 9 powerful items already, so he may not look to try and bolster, well, his current inventory. Griffins look like they're going to be making their way over here to the 3 o'clock location and quickly find out the expansion. Knights now looking to back off here. No sentry ward, as the Hippogriffs are now coming into position here. All right, Water Elementals are going to be in a little bit of trouble, as they are in that back line, and those Dryads should be able to destroy them in a mere couple of seconds. Meanwhile, Tree of Eternity taking a lot of damage once more. Are we going to see some detonations? No, we do not, as the Griffins are now going to be trying to engage down across over here. All right, damage is now being done. There goes a couple more units. There goes another Griffin, as the Griffins are continuing to fight here again. So far, everyone perhaps misjudging how strong their opponent's army is. Especially with all of the items being used, a lot of healing has been going on, as the Warden now sits at level 10. Level 10 Warden moves around very fast. Fan of Knives, Shadow Strike, Blink, all of those abilities can pretty much be spammed. As the Warden now making its way back over here to the left. All right, Militia looking to engage here. Perhaps just to take down some of these remaining units. You can see damage is just being added up and up as the Paladin falls at level 3. Warden or Archmage trying to finish things off. Is she going to be able to get away? No, he does not. And with both the Paladin and the Archmage gone, there is the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 2 in this series.